What if I told you that your English is not weak because you lack intelligence? What if the real problem is not your vocabulary, your accent, or even your education? What if 7 small grammar habits are quietly destroying the confidence you have worked so hard to build? You may know hundreds of English words. You may understand movies, read books, and follow conversations. But the moment you have to speak, something happens. Your mind becomes crowded. Your heart starts beating faster. You begin questioning every sentence before it leaves your mouth. Should I say he go or he goes? Should I say I am living here for 5 years or I have been living here for 5 years? Should I use a, an, or the? And while your mind is fighting this battle, the conversation moves forward without you. You stay silent. Later, when you are alone, you suddenly know exactly what you should have said. Has this ever happened to you? The painful truth is that many English learners are not failing because they cannot learn. They are failing because nobody has shown them which mistakes matter, why they happen, and how to correct them without becoming afraid of speaking. Today, I am not here to make you ashamed of your mistakes. Shame has never taught anyone how to speak. Fear has never helped anyone become fluent. I am here to help you see your mistakes clearly, correct them calmly, and move forward confidently. Because a grammar mistake is not proof that you are foolish. It is simply proof that one part of your learning needs attention. You are not the mistake. You are the person correcting the mistake. There is a huge difference. So do not listen to this lesson as someone who is being judged. Listen as someone who is being equipped. Listen as someone who is taking control of their language, one sentence at a time. I am going to share 7 powerful lessons with you. These are not complicated theories. These are practical lessons that can transform the way you speak, write, and think in English. Some of these mistakes may feel small, but repeated every day, they become habits. And habits eventually become the way people hear your English. Today, we are going to break those habits, not with embarrassment, not with pressure, but with awareness, repetition, and courage. Lesson 1. Stop letting fear become your biggest grammar mistake. Before we correct verbs, tenses, articles, and prepositions, we must correct something deeper. We must correct the belief that you have to speak perfect English before you are allowed to speak English confidently. This belief is destroying more English learners than any grammar rule ever could. You open your mouth, but before you complete one sentence, you start judging yourself. Was that correct? Did I pronounce that word properly? What if they laugh at me? What if they think I am uneducated? What if I forget the next word? And because you are afraid of making one mistake, you make a much bigger mistake. You stop communicating. Let me tell you something very clearly. Silence does not improve your grammar. Avoiding conversations does not improve your fluency. Waiting until you feel completely ready does not make you ready. You become ready by speaking before you feel ready. You become confident by acting, while confidence is still growing. You learn to swim by entering the water. You learn to speak by using your voice. I have seen learners who know grammar rules better than many native speakers, but they cannot hold a simple conversation. Why? Because their knowledge is trapped inside fear. They know the language, but they do not trust themselves enough to use it. And I have also seen learners with limited vocabulary speak beautifully. They make mistakes, but they continue. They listen, adjust, and try again. They are not perfect, but they are present. That presence is powerful. Fluency is not the complete absence of mistakes. Fluency is the ability to continue communicating even when a mistake happens. Imagine you say, "Yesterday I go to the market." Then you realize your mistake. You do not need to panic. You do not need to apologize for your existence. You simply say, "Sorry, yesterday I went to the market." That is not failure. That is learning happening in real time. The strongest English learners are not people who never make mistakes. They are people who recover quickly. They notice. They correct. They continue. You must develop this habit. When you make a mistake, do not create a tragedy around it. Correct the sentence and move forward. Your mind learns through correction, but it cannot learn properly when every correction is connected to shame. Suppose a child is learning to walk. The child falls again and again. We do not say, "You have fallen 3 times. Walking is clearly not for you." No, we encourage the child to stand again. Why do we give children permission to learn imperfectly, but refuse to give ourselves the same permission? You are learning a language. Of course, you will make mistakes. You may have spoken your first language for 20, 30, or 40 years. You have used it at home, at school, with friends, during happy moments, painful moments, and ordinary moments. Then you compare that lifetime of experience with your English and become disappointed. That comparison is unfair. You are not behind. You are building. But building requires action. From today, I want you to replace one question. Stop asking, was every word perfect? Start asking, did I communicate my meaning? Then ask, what one thing can I improve next time? This changes everything. Instead of carrying 10 corrections at once, focus on one pattern. Perhaps this week, you will focus on using he goes instead of he go. Perhaps next week, you will focus on past tense verbs. Perhaps after that, you will practice articles. Small corrections, repeated consistently, create strong English. But trying to correct every possible mistake while speaking will make you sound unnatural and anxious. Language is not a mathematics examination happening inside your mouth. It is human connection. Grammar supports that connection. Grammar is not supposed to imprison you. So yes, take grammar seriously. But do not treat every error as a personal defeat. Your first responsibility is to speak. Your second responsibility is to observe. Your third responsibility is to improve. And then you repeat the process. Speak, observe, improve. That is how confidence becomes real. Not by pretending you never make mistakes, but by proving to yourself that mistakes cannot stop you. Lesson 2. Make your subject and verb work together. One of the most common mistakes in English happens when the subject and the verb do not agree. You may say, he go to work every day. The correct sentence is, he goes to work every day. You may say, she like coffee. The correct sentence is, she likes coffee. You may say, my brother play football. The correct sentence is, my brother plays football. This small letter S creates a huge problem for many learners. Why? Because in the present simple tense, we usually add s or s to the verb when the subject is he, she, or it. I work, you work, we work, they work, but he works, she works, it works. Notice what happens. The subject changes, so the verb changes. Many learners understand this rule when they complete a written exercise, but during conversation, they forget it. They say, my mother cook very well. My friend live in London. The machine make a strange sound. The correct forms are, my mother cooks very well. My friend lives in London. The machine makes a strange sound. Do not underestimate this mistake. People will usually understand you, but repeating it constantly makes your English sound incomplete. The solution is not to memorize hundreds of sentences. The solution is to train your ear. Listen to the rhythm. He works. She knows. It looks. Ahmed studies. My sister teaches. The company provides. The system requires. When a singular person or thing performs an action in the present simple tense, the verb normally needs that extra ending. But now let us look at the opposite mistake. Some learners add s when they should not. They say, they works here. We likes this place. My parents lives abroad. These are incorrect because plural subjects use the base form of the verb. They work here. We like this place. My parents live abroad. You must teach your mind to identify the subject before choosing the verb. Who is doing the action? One person or thing. Use the singular pattern. More than one? Use the plural pattern. But English is not always as simple as counting visible nouns. Consider this sentence. Everyone have a problem. It sounds logical to some learners because everyone refers to many people. But grammatically, everyone is singular. The correct sentence is, everyone has a problem. Someone has called you. Nobody knows the answer. Each student needs a notebook. Every employee receives an identification card. Words such as everyone, someone, nobody, each and every are treated as singular. Now consider collective nouns. You may hear both, the team is playing well, and, in some varieties of English, the team are playing well. In American English, collective nouns are usually treated as singular when the group acts as one unit. The team is ready. The company has announced a new policy. The family lives in Karachi. In British English, collective nouns may sometimes take plural verbs when the speaker is thinking about the members individually. The team are arguing among themselves. Both patterns exist, but as a learner, Consistency matters more than trying to use every possible variation. Choose a standard and use it clearly. There are also nouns that look plural but are singular. News ends in S, but we say, the news is surprising. Not the news are surprising. Mathematics is difficult for some students. Politics is a complicated subject. Then there are nouns that are plural and require plural verbs. The police are investigating. Not the police is investigating. People are waiting. Not people is waiting. Children need support. Not children need support. Another common mistake appears when words separate the subject from the verb. Listen to this sentence. The list of items are on the table. Many learners hear items, which is plural, and choose are. But the real subject is list. The correct sentence is, the list of items is on the table. The quality of these products is excellent. The number of applicants has increased. The cost of living is rising. Do not allow the nearest noun to control your verb. Find the true subject. Now listen to a different sentence. A number of applicants have complained. Why do we use have here? Because a number of means several applicants. The focus is on the applicants as a group of individuals. The number of applicants has increased. A number of applicants have complained. One small article changes the grammatical structure. This is why grammar is not about memorizing isolated words. It is about noticing patterns. You can improve subject-verb agreement with a simple daily practice. Take 5 people or objects around you and describe what they regularly do. My father leaves early. My sister studies at night. My phone needs charging. My neighbors play loud music. My manager checks every report. Then change each sentence to a plural subject. My parents leave early. My sisters study at night. My devices need charging. My neighbors play loud music. My managers check every report. Speak these sentences aloud. Do not only read them silently. Your mouth needs training, not just your eyes. The goal is to make correct grammar automatic. You should not need to stop and hold a meeting inside your brain every time you use a verb. Repetition creates instinct, and when correct grammar becomes instinct, confidence follows. Lesson 3. Stop mixing your tenses. Your listener needs to know when something happened. Is it happening now? Does it happen regularly? Did it happen yesterday? Has it continued for several years? Will it happen tomorrow? Tenses give time to your story. When you mix them carelessly, your listener becomes confused. One of the most common sentences I hear is, yesterday I go to the office. The word yesterday clearly tells us that the action happened in the past. Therefore, the verb must also move into the past. Yesterday I went to the office. Not go, went. You may say, last night I watched a movie. The correct sentence is, last night I watched a movie. You may say, we meet him 2 days ago. The correct sentence is, we met him 2 days ago. Time expressions such as yesterday, last week, last year, 2 hours ago, and in 2020 usually require the past simple when you are talking about a completed action. But learners often begin in the past and suddenly jump into the present. They say, yesterday I went to the market and I see my teacher and she asks me about my family. The story began correctly, but then the tense changed. A clearer sentence is, yesterday I went to the market and I saw my teacher and she asked me about my family. Went, saw, asked. All the main actions happened in the past, so the tense remains consistent. Now, there is something called the historical present. Native speakers sometimes use the present tense while telling a dramatic story. They may say, so yesterday I walk into the room and everyone looks at me. This is possible in informal storytelling, but you should not use it accidentally. First, learn to control standard tense consistency. Later, you can experiment with stylistic choices. Control must come before creativity. Another major problem is the difference between the present simple and present continuous. You may say, I am going to work every day. This is possible in a special temporary context, but for a normal routine, the better sentence is, I go to work every day. The present simple describes habits, routines, permanent situations, and general truths. I drink tea every morning. She works in a bank. They live in Lahore. Water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. The present continuous usually describes something happening now or around the present time. I am drinking tea right now. She is working from home this week. They are living with relatives temporarily. The company is expanding. Look at the difference. I read before bed means this is my habit. I am reading a novel means this is happening during the current period. I work in Islamabad describes my regular job. I am working in Islamabad this month suggests a temporary situation. Another mistake appears with stative verbs. These verbs usually describe states, thoughts, feelings, possession, or understanding. We generally do not use them in continuous forms. Learners often say, I am knowing the answer. The correct sentence is, I know the answer. I am understanding you. The standard form is, I understand you. I am believing you. Usually we say, I believe you. I am having a car. For possession, say, I have a car. But remember that some verbs can have different meanings. I have a car means I own a car. I am having lunch means I am eating lunch. I think you are right means this is my opinion. I am thinking about the problem means I am considering it. English is not trying to confuse you. The meaning controls the tense. Now let us talk about a mistake that is extremely common among learners. I am living here since 2020. This is not standard English. When an action started in the past and continues until now, use the present perfect or present perfect continuous. I have lived here since 2020. I have been living here since 2020. Both can be correct. Use since with a starting point. Since Monday, since 2020, since childhood, since I graduated. Use for with a period of time, for 3 days, for 6 months, for 10 years, for a long time. So you can say, I have worked here for 5 years, or I have been working here for 5 years. Do not say, I am working here since 5 years. This mistake is common because learners translate directly from their first language. But English has its own structure. You must learn the structure instead of forcing English to behave like another language. The present perfect also creates confusion when learners use a finished time expression. They say, I have seen him yesterday. This is incorrect because yesterday is a finished time. Say, I saw him yesterday. Use the present perfect when the exact finished time is not mentioned, or when the past event has a connection to the present. I have seen that movie. She has finished her work. We have visited Dubai several times. But when you mention a finished past time, use the past simple. I saw that movie last Friday. She finished her work an hour ago. We visited Dubai in 2022. Now think about the future. Many learners use will for every future sentence. I will meet my doctor tomorrow. This can be correct, especially when the decision is spontaneous or the statement is a prediction. But English has several ways to express the future. I am meeting my doctor tomorrow describes an arranged plan. I am going to meet my doctor tomorrow describes an intention or plan. I will call the doctor now describes a decision made at the moment of speaking. Do not become obsessed with using the most sophisticated tense. Focus on communicating time clearly. Ask yourself 3 questions. When did the action begin? Is it finished? Is it connected to the present? These questions will guide you. And when you tell a story, choose a time frame and remain inside it unless you have a clear reason to change. Your tense is the clock of your sentence. If the clock keeps jumping randomly, your listener cannot follow your journey. Lesson 4. Use articles instead of guessing. 3 tiny words create enormous confusion for English learners. A, an, the. Some learners avoid them completely. They say, I bought car. She is teacher. He went to hospital. Others place the before almost every noun. The life is difficult. The happiness is important. The people need the freedom. Both habits can damage the natural flow of your English. Let us make this simple. Use a or an when you are talking about one non-specific countable thing. I bought a car. She is a teacher. He needs a pen. We saw a dog. Use an before a vowel sound. An apple, an idea, an hour, an honest person. Notice that I said vowel sound, not vowel letter. Hour begins with the letter H, but the H is silent, so the word begins with a vowel sound. That is why we say an hour, but we say a university, because university begins with a Y sound. A university, a European country, a useful tool. The sound matters. Now use the when the listener knows which specific thing you mean. I saw a dog outside. The dog was injured. The first time, it is one unknown dog, so we use a. The second time, both the speaker and listener know which dog is being discussed, so we use the. Imagine I say, please close the door. That could mean any door. But if there is one obvious door in the room, I say, please close the door. We also use the for things that are unique in a particular context. The sun, the moon, the internet, the government of a specific country, the manager of our department, the beginning of the movie, the end of the road. But we usually do not use an article when speaking generally about plural countable nouns or uncountable nouns. Books are useful, not the books are useful, unless you mean specific books. Children need love, not the children need love, unless you are referring to particular children. Life is unpredictable, not the life is unpredictable. Honesty is important, not the honesty is important. Education changes lives, not the education changes lives, unless you are discussing a specific system or type of education. This difference between general and specific meaning is essential. Doctors help people means doctors in general. The doctors helped me means specific doctors. Technology is changing society means technology in general. The technology used in this hospital is advanced means specific technology. Now we must discuss countable and uncountable nouns, because many article mistakes begin there. A countable noun can be counted: 1 chair, 2 chairs, 1 suggestion, 3 suggestions. An uncountable noun is not normally counted as separate units. Information, advice, furniture, equipment, luggage, research, traffic, knowledge. Learners often say, I need an advice. This is incorrect because advice is uncountable. Say, I need some advice, or I need a piece of advice. Do not say, she gave me many advices. Say, she gave me a lot of advice. You may say, I received an information. The correct sentence is, I received some information. You may say, we bought new furnitures. The correct sentence is, we bought new furniture. You may say, the company purchased many equipments. The correct sentence is, the company purchased a lot of equipment. You can count pieces or items, but you do not normally make these nouns plural. 3 pieces of information, 2 pieces of advice, several items of furniture, 5 pieces of equipment. Another common mistake happens with professions. Learners say, my sister is doctor. You need an article because doctor is a singular countable noun. My sister is a doctor. He is an engineer. She wants to become a pilot. I am a student. A singular countable noun usually cannot stand alone. It needs an article or another determiner. A book, the book, my book, this book, one book. You cannot normally say, I bought book. Now think about places. Why do we sometimes say go to school without the, but go to the school with the? I go to school means I go there for its primary purpose. As a student, I went to the school to meet the principal means I went to the physical building for another reason. He is in hospital is common in British English when he is there as a patient. He is in the hospital is standard in American English and can also refer to the building. She is at university means she is a student there. She is at the university may refer to her physical location. Do not try to memorize every article rule in one night. That will only frustrate you. Instead, begin collecting complete phrases. Go to work, go home, go to bed, go to the office, go to the bank, at home, at school, at the airport, in the morning, in the afternoon, at night. Language is easier when you learn it in meaningful chunks. And please remember this: native speakers do not consciously recite article rules every time they speak. They have heard correct patterns so many times that those patterns feel natural. You can develop that feeling too. Read aloud. Listen carefully. Notice which nouns appear with articles. Do not only ask, what does this sentence mean? Also ask, why did the speaker use a here and the there? Curiosity turns exposure into learning. Lesson 5. Stop translating prepositions word for word. Prepositions are small words with great power. In, on, at, for, to, with, about, from, by. These words look simple, but they rarely translate perfectly from one language to another. That is why a sentence may feel completely logical in your mind and still sound unnatural in English. You may say, I am good in English. The natural expression is, I am good at English. You may say, she is married with a doctor. The correct phrase is, she is married to a doctor. You may say, it depends of the weather. The correct phrase is, it depends on the weather. You may say, I am interested to learn English. A more natural sentence is, I am interested in learning English. You may say, he is afraid from dogs. The correct phrase is, he is afraid of dogs. These errors happen because learners often translate the preposition used in their first language. But English combinations must be learned as complete units. Do not learn only the word interested. Learn interested in. Do not learn only depend. Learn depend on. Do not learn only good. Learn good at. Do not learn only responsible. Learn responsible for. Do not learn only proud. Learn proud of. A word and its preposition are often partners. Learn them together. Now let us examine in, on, and at, because they confuse almost everyone. For time, use at for specific clock times. At 6 o'clock, at noon, at midnight, at lunchtime. Use on for days and dates. On Monday, on my birthday, on July 22nd, on Friday morning. Use in for longer periods. In July, in 2026, in winter, in the morning, in the 20th century. So you say, the meeting starts at 9 o'clock on Monday morning, in July, at 9, on Monday, in July. From small and specific to larger periods. But do not expect every expression to follow one perfect formula. We say at night, not in the night when speaking generally. We say in the morning, in the afternoon, and in the evening. English has patterns, but it also has fixed expressions. Now consider place. Use at for a point or general location. At the bus stop, at the airport, at work, at home. Use on for surfaces. On the table, on the wall, on the floor, on the page. Use in for enclosed spaces or larger areas. In the room, in the building, in Karachi, in Pakistan. Again, context matters. I am at the hospital. Focuses on the location as a point. I am in the hospital. Focuses on being inside the building. The picture is on the wall. The keys are in the drawer. I will meet you at the entrance. Another common issue involves transportation. We usually say on the bus, on the train, on the plane, on a bicycle, but in a car, in a taxi. Why? Because English expressions develop through use. Sometimes there is a historical or physical explanation, but memorizing the argument is less useful than memorizing the pattern. Get on the bus, get off the bus, get into the car, get out of the car. Learn the whole movement. Now let us correct several unnecessary prepositions. Learners often say, we discussed about the problem, but discuss already includes the idea of talking about something. Say, we discussed the problem. You can say, we talked about the problem, but not we discussed about the problem. Do not say, he entered into the room. For ordinary physical movement, say, he entered the room. You can say, he went into the room. Do not say, she requested for help. Say, she requested help, or she asked for help. Do not say, I ordered for tea. Say, I ordered tea, but you can say, I asked for tea. Different verbs require different structures. This is why translating individual words is dangerous. Two verbs may have similar meanings, but different grammar. Explain me this rule is incorrect. Say, explain this rule to me. But tell me this rule is grammatically possible. Although tell me about this rule, or tell me how this rule works, may sound more natural, depending on the meaning. We say, listen to me, wait for me, look at me, ask me, call me, answer me, contact me. Do not add a preposition, simply because another language uses one, and do not remove a preposition, because another language does not. There is only one reliable solution. Collect phrases from real English. Keep a notebook, but do not write isolated words. Instead of writing, proud means feeling pleased. Write, proud of someone. I am proud of you. She is proud of her progress. Instead of writing, apologize means to say sorry. Write, apologize to someone for something. I apologize to my friend for being late. This is how you build usable English. A dictionary gives you meaning. A phrase gives you power. Lesson 6. Build complete sentences in the right order. You may know every word you need, but if you place those words in the wrong order, your sentence becomes difficult to understand. English word order is not decoration. It carries meaning. A basic English statement usually follows this pattern. Subject, verb, object. I read books. She opened the window. They completed the project. The subject performs the action. The verb expresses the action. The object receives the action. But many learners transfer the word order of their first language into English. They say, I everyday English practice. The natural order is, I practice English every day. They say, my friend very well speaks English. A natural sentence is, my friend speaks English very well. They say, yesterday to the market I went. The standard order is, I went to the market yesterday. English allows some movement for emphasis, but you must master the normal structure first. Adverbs also create problems. Consider the word always. With most verbs, frequency adverbs such as always, usually, often, sometimes, rarely, and never usually appear before the main verb. I always wake up early. She usually takes the bus. They often visit us. He never complains. But with the verb to be, the adverb usually comes after the verb. I am always tired. She is usually punctual. They are often busy. A common mistake is, she always is late. People will understand it. But the more natural sentence is, she is always late. Now consider questions. In direct questions, we often change the word order. Where is he? What does she want? Why did they leave? But when the question becomes part of a larger sentence, the word order changes back to statement order. Learners often say, I do not know where is he. The correct sentence is, I do not know where he is. Not where is he. Can you tell me what does this mean? The correct sentence is, can you tell me what this means? Do you know when will the meeting start? The correct sentence is, do you know when the meeting will start? The first part already creates the question. The second part uses normal statement order. This single correction will make your English sound much more advanced. Now let us talk about incomplete sentences. Sometimes learners say, because I was tired. Then they stop. This is not a complete sentence in standard writing, because introduces a reason. But we do not yet know the main result. Because I was tired, I went to bed early. Or, I went to bed early because I was tired. A sentence beginning with although also needs a complete contrast. Although it was raining is incomplete by itself. Although it was raining, we continued walking. While I was waiting is incomplete unless the context makes it an intentional conversational fragment. While I was waiting, I received a phone call. In casual conversation, native speakers use fragments all the time. Maybe tomorrow, not really, because I said so. But to break a rule effectively, you must first understand the rule. Unintentional fragments make your writing weak. Intentional fragments can create emphasis. There is also the opposite problem. Sentences that never end. Some learners connect every idea with and. I woke up late, and I missed the bus, and I called my manager, and he was angry, and I explained the situation, and then I took a taxi, and there was traffic, and I reached the office at 10. The listener becomes exhausted. Your ideas need space. I woke up late, so I missed the bus. I called my manager and explained the situation. Then I took a taxi, but there was heavy traffic. I finally reached the office at 10. The information is the same. The structure is clearer. Punctuation is not merely a writing rule. It represents pauses, connections, and boundaries between ideas. Even when speaking, you need verbal punctuation. Pause after one complete thought, then begin the next. Clarity is not created by speaking faster. Clarity is created by organizing your thoughts. Another common sentence structure problem is the double negative. Learners sometimes say, I do not know nothing. In standard English, this means two negatives are operating together. Say, I do not know anything, or I know nothing. Do not say, she did not tell nobody. Say, she did not tell anybody, or she told nobody. Some dialects use double negatives consistently, and they have their own grammatical systems. But as an English learner aiming for widely accepted standard English, use one negative structure. Another mistake happens after modal verbs. Learners say, he can speaks English. After can, use the base form. He can speak English. She should studies more. The correct sentence is, she should study more. They must to leave. The correct sentence is, they must leave. After can, could, may, might, must, should, will, and would, use the base form of the verb. Can go, should study, must leave, will call, would help. Do not add s. Do not add to. Do not use the past form. Say, he could come, not he could came. Say, she will explain, not she will explains. Your sentence becomes stronger when each word performs its correct role. Think of grammar as architecture. Vocabulary gives you the materials. Sentence structure tells you where those materials belong. You can own beautiful bricks, strong wood, and expensive glass. But if you place them without structure, you do not create a safe building. In the same way, knowing impressive words is not enough. A simple sentence with strong structure is more powerful than a complicated sentence filled with errors. Do not try to sound intelligent. Try to be clear. Clarity is intelligence made visible. Lesson 7. Choose clear English over complicated English. Many learners believe that advanced English means using long words, long sentences, and complicated grammar. This belief creates unnecessary mistakes. They take a simple idea and try to make it sound important. Instead of saying, I disagree, they create a sentence they cannot control. Instead of saying, we need more time, they search for impressive vocabulary and lose the meaning. Instead of saying, I made a mistake, they speak for 2 minutes without accepting responsibility. Complicated English is not automatically good English. Clear English is good English. Imagine two people answering the same question. The first person says, regarding the aforementioned situation, I would like to articulate that the implementation was not executed in accordance with the initially established expectations. The second person says, the plan was not carried out as expected. Which sentence is clearer? The first may sound formal, but it is heavy. The second is direct. Your goal is not to make your listener admire your dictionary. Your goal is to make your listener understand your message. This is especially important when you are still developing grammatical control. Use structures you can manage. Instead of attempting one sentence with 5 clauses, speak in 3 clean sentences. Instead of using a word you do not fully understand, use a familiar word accurately. Instead of translating an idiom from your first language, explain the meaning plainly. There is no shame in simple English. Some of the most powerful sentences in the world are simple. I believe you. I need help. I was wrong. I will try again. You are not alone. Simplicity does not make your ideas small. Confusion makes them small. Another mistake learners make is memorizing advanced phrases without understanding where they belong. They learn, on the other hand, and insert it everywhere. They learn nevertheless, and use it without a real contrast. They learn, in my humble opinion, and repeat it in every discussion. A phrase is useful only when it expresses the relationship between your ideas. Do not decorate an empty sentence. First, create a clear thought, then choose language that serves it. You must also stop translating complete sentences word for word. Your first language may place respect, emotion, time, and emphasis in different positions. A direct translation may sound unnatural, or even change the meaning. Instead of asking, how do I translate every word? Ask, how would an English speaker express this idea? This is a deeper form of learning. Suppose your language uses one phrase that literally translates as, my head is eating circles. That phrase may make perfect sense in your culture, but an English listener may be completely confused. You may need to say, I feel dizzy, I am overthinking, or my mind is going in circles, depending on the intended meaning. Translation is not replacement. Translation is interpretation. This is why reading and listening are essential. You need to see how English organizes ideas. Pay attention to complete expressions. Make a decision. Take responsibility. Pay attention. Have a conversation. Do your homework. Make progress. Learners often say, do a decision, because their first language uses one general verb. But English says, make a decision. They may say, make homework. But English says, do homework. They may say, give an exam, when they mean take an exam. Although give an exam can mean administering it in some contexts. These word partnerships are called collocations. You do not need to memorize the technical name, but you need to notice the combinations. Strong English is not only correct grammar, it is natural word partnership. We say heavy rain, not usually strong rain. We say make a mistake, not do a mistake. We say highly recommended, not usually strongly recommended, in every context, although both may sometimes work. We say deeply concerned, completely different, fully aware, and closely related. Learn how words live together. A word alone can mislead you. A word inside a sentence teaches you how to use it. Now let us discuss correction. Some learners either never correct themselves or correct themselves so often that nobody can follow the conversation. You need balance. Suppose you say, she go to work at 8. You notice the mistake immediately. Say, she goes to work at 8. Then continue. That quick correction is useful, but do not restart the entire sentence 5 times. She go, sorry. She goes, actually she is going. No, she goes every day to at her office. By the time you finish correcting, you have lost your message and your confidence. Correct mistakes that affect clarity or involve the pattern you are currently practicing. Allow minor mistakes to pass during free conversation. You can review them later. Fluency practice and accuracy practice are different activities. During fluency practice, your goal is to continue speaking. During accuracy practice, your goal is to slow down and correct specific patterns. You need both. If you practice only accuracy, you may become grammatically careful but painfully slow. If you practice only fluency, your mistakes may become permanent habits. Create separate time for each. For 10 minutes, speak freely about your day without stopping. Record yourself. Then listen. Choose only 3 sentences to correct, not 30. 3. Write the original sentence. Write the corrected sentence. Say the corrected sentence 5 times. Then use the same structure with new information. For example, your original sentence may be, I am working here since 2021. The corrected sentence is, I have been working here since 2021. Now create new examples. I have been studying English since January. She has been living there since childhood. They have been waiting since morning. This is how one correction becomes a reusable pattern. Do not simply look at the correction and say, yes, I understand. Understanding is not mastery. Recognition is not production. You may recognize a correct sentence when you see it, but still fail to produce it during conversation. You need repetition. Speak the pattern until it feels familiar. Use it tomorrow. Use it next week. Use it in a real conversation. A lesson enters your eyes once. A habit enters your life through repetition. You should also create what I call a personal mistake list. Not a list of every possible grammar rule. Your mistakes. Perhaps you frequently say he go, right. He goes. Perhaps you say married with, right. Married to. Perhaps you say discuss about, right. Discuss something. Perhaps you say I did not went, right. I did not go. Review this list every day for 5 minutes. Your English will improve faster when you focus on your real weaknesses instead of studying random rules forever. General learning gives you knowledge. Personal correction gives you progress. And there is one more habit you must leave behind. Stop apologizing for your English before you speak. Do not begin every conversation with, my English is very bad. When you say that, you are not being humble. You are preparing yourself to fail. You are giving your mind permission to hide. You are also forcing the other person to judge your English before listening to your message. Instead, speak. Let the conversation be about your ideas. Your English may not be perfect, but perfection is not the entrance fee for participation. You have the right to ask a question. You have the right to share an opinion. You have the right to make a presentation. You have the right to apply for an opportunity. You have the right to use the language you are still learning. Do not wait for someone to give you permission. Give it to yourself. Every confident speaker you admire once struggled to find words. Every fluent learner once made basic mistakes. Every strong voice was once uncertain. The difference is not that successful learners avoided discomfort. The difference is that they continued through it. Today, you have learned that subject and verb must work together. You have learned that tenses must give your listener a clear sense of time. You have learned that articles separate general ideas from specific things. You have learned that prepositions must be learned in phrases, not translated blindly. You have learned that complete sentences need clear structure and natural word order. You have learned that simple English is not weak English. And most importantly, you have learned that fear is not a grammar rule. You do not have to obey it. The next time you make a mistake, do not say, I will never speak English well. Say, now I know what to practice. The next time someone corrects you, do not hear an insult. Hear information. Take what is useful. Leave what is cruel. Continue learning. And the next time your mind tells you to remain silent, remember this. Your voice does not become stronger by waiting. It becomes stronger by being used. Speak even when your sentence is not perfect. Correct yourself without attacking yourself. Study without comparing your journey to someone else's journey. Practice the language you actually need. Repeat the patterns that challenge you. Choose clarity over complexity. Choose consistency over intensity. Choose courage over embarrassment. You do not need to improve everything today. Improve one sentence, then another, then another. One day, you will enter a conversation and realize that the structure you once struggled to remember now comes naturally. You will use the correct tense without stopping. You will choose the right preposition without translating. You will speak clearly without rehearsing every word. That day will not arrive through magic. It will arrive because of the small corrections you were willing to make when nobody was watching. So begin today. Choose one mistake from this lesson. Write 5 correct examples. Say them aloud. Use one in a real conversation. And tomorrow, do it again. Your mistakes are not ruining your English because they exist. They ruin your English only when you repeat them without awareness, hide from them, or allow them to silence you. Once you face them, they become teachers. Once you correct them, they become progress. Once you move beyond them, they become evidence of how far you have come. You are not here to prove that you already know everything. You are here to become better than you were yesterday. That is enough. Speak, learn, correct, continue. Your English is not waiting for perfection. It is waiting for your courage.